Welcome back. Now, Namibia is venturing into new waters with the establishment of its first salmon farm by the Africa Aquaculture Company. Now, the project, which promises to bring innovation as well as jobs and economic opportunity, could position Namibia as a key player in the global aquaculture industry. Joining us is the company's country director, Clement Kaukuetu, to share more on the vision, the progress and potential of this groundbreaking initiative. Mr. Kaukuetu, good evening and thank you for joining us here on the Daily Roundup.
Good evening, Nina, and thank you for having me.
Can you briefly tell us, Mr. Kaukuetu, what inspired Africa Aquaculture Company to establish a salmon farm in Namibia, and of course tell us what makes this project unique for this country?
All right, that's an easy one. Unique because this is the first ever project of this kind. This is the first salmon farm for Namibia, for Southern Africa, in fact, indeed, for all of Africa. So, yeah, in that sense, it is quite unique that Namibia is the forerunner in Africa in terms of setting up such a project. Yeah, and what inspired it is that we actually acquired salmon, and that actually was what made it possible for this project for us to be able to implement it here.
Why salmon specifically, and how suitable are Namibian waters and climate for salmon aquaculture?
All right. Exactly because the Namibian waters are quite suitable for salmon farming. We have the ideal temperatures, we have the ideal depth, we have the Benguela current, which is quite a bit of a strong current, and that current obviously only, besides bringing the cold waters that is ideal for salmon farming, also helps fairly distribute whatever excess feed there would be, so that at least we remain environmentally sustainable.
And at what stage is the project currently at?
All right, we have two facilities or two areas where we operate from. The one, we have a hatchery in the Western Cape, just north of, and then the grow out phase in Lutherans. At the moment, we have acquired the hatchery, the Western Cape. We have now started with renovation work to modify it a bit. It was actually used for salmonat or salmonic products. We are just modernizing it a bit. So we've started with that process. And in terms of timelines, about 2 months from now, we should be able to start the hatching of the eggs at that facility. Hatching takes about from hatching to a small stage, which is 100 gram, takes 12 months, meaning that in about 6 months' time, we will have to construction work in Lutherans to set up the net pen, so that they are ready to receive. They are done in 6 months to receive the smolt that we get from Cape Town to set it out at sea in the net pens.
So when exactly, with the timeline you've just given, when exactly can we expect the first harvest from this farm?
In terms of this timeline, you're looking at the third or fourth quarter of 2027. You will put a first harvest in market, yes.
In terms of employment and as well as skills development, how many jobs will the salmon farm create, and what training opportunities will it bring for the local communities?
All right, we are looking at an average of 5,000 jobs to be created, but this is a very conservative figure because it's taken from what such enterprise in Norway would hire but Namibia, obviously, because of we use more manual labor, then with that figure may be a bit more. In terms of skill development, obviously, because this is a new industry, we don't have the skills required at the moment. We will be called upon to bring in experts from Norway, Chile, and elsewhere where they are doing salmon farm, experienced people that can then do the farming there. But at the same time, we are already looking at skill development in terms of we to universities in developing projects and programs to train our people here, but also looking at giving scholarships and funding and attachment programs to Namibian students to do first-hand experience in salmon farms in Norway and elsewhere. We already have at the moment in place a MOU with the University of Stellenbosch, or also towards the same objective, and we're looking forward to have the same with universities. We are at an advanced stage with negotiations with universities, and we may be coming with an announcement pretty soon.
Fantastic. Well, environmental sustainability is also often raised when it comes to large aquaculture projects such as this. So what measures have been put in place to ensure that, the salmon farm does not harm the marine ecosystems?
All right. We have quite a number of measures in place, but perhaps before I get to that, let me start off with saying the biggest challenge globally for salmon farms is the salmon lice problem. Now, we are so lucky here that we have an ideal area for salmon farming, but which has got no salmon lice. The salmon lice come from natural salmon where it occurs in the wild, and that is then transferred to the farm salmon if they are in the same vicinity. As we know, Namibia has no salmon naturally here, and also because we have warm rivers flowing into the ocean, there is no possibility of this salmon or the farm salmon, even if we may have some escapes, that they would spawn and develop wild salmon colonies because they cannot spawn in these warm waters, warm rivers that we have. So therefore, that one big challenge is already being taken care of in that regard. In terms of other measures in place, we have developed quite a very extensive and comprehensive environmental impact study, which is a public document. It is, I think, the most expensive environmental impact study ever done in Namibia. I stand to be corrected, but that's my opinion. And that, obviously, that went through a rigorous process of approval from the Ministry of Fisheries, the Ministry of Environment. It was put to public scrutiny and so forth. It then subsequently got the clear certificate. But apart from that, we have just concluded an environmental monitoring plan that we have submitted with the ministry that has now been accepted. We have other reporting and monitoring measures in place because we are foreigners in this industry. We want to make sure that we do everything right, because this is an opportunity that can cause other companies of the same size or even bigger to come on board once we have been successful. So it is in our best interest that we share whatever information we have with the Ministry of Fisheries and other institutions out there in order to empower other Namibian companies or other upcoming salmon farming companies in the future.
Thank you. How does this salmon farm, Mr. Kaukuetu, fit into Namibia's broader food security and economic diversification goals? And also tell us if most of the salmon will be for local consumption or export markets.
All right, we have a license to farm 51,000 tons of salmon per annum. The local market in SADC consumes about 8,000 tons. So definitely the bigger chunk volumes when we get to 51,000 tons will be for export. Obviously, for Namibia's export competitiveness, for foreign currency earnings, and so forth. So and I must add that we are now already talking to existing fish farming companies in order to also step up their capacity, because moment have set up salmon farmers. So product harvested, when the salmon is slaughtered, we intend on making it available to the fishing that are quite established industry already with international footprint, quality products that are sold internationally to Europe, America, elsewhere. So we don't reinvent them. We just have trying then to make that available to these companies for them to do further processing and distribution globally.
Well, an exciting project indeed, and we're looking forward to see it taking off. Mr. Kaukuetu, thank you so much for joining us this evening here on the Daily Roundup.
Thank you for having me. Goodbye.
That was Mr. Clement Kaukuetu talking to us about Namibia entering into new waters with the establishment of the first salmon farm by Africa Aquaculture Company, and he is the country director. We'll be right back after this brief break. Stay with us.